Welcome back to another episode. What do we call this again? I just say that to rack your
I know,
brain.
you really do.
No, it's Living Well Together.
Big life in a small town.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited because
so
we're
funny.
here, just the two of us today. We're trying to come up with a plan.
No, actually, we had just a little shifting of the gears.
Yep.
Part of life is about adaptability. You got to be willing to say, can we, should we, might we? And we made a commitment. So one of the things that we're kind of big on is if we made a commitment to ourselves or to each other, we've got to keep the commitment.
Yeah.
And one of the commitments is every Tuesday we do a gig. And sometimes the person that we might have sitting in the middle, actually it's usually you in the middle, but sometimes the other person joining us may have a shifting of their gears.
Exactly.
So today we don't have anybody between us. It's going to be just us.
Just us.
We were going to talk about all straight up health and wellness. And then we thought, why?
Boring.
I mean, there's so many more things we can cover.
But you know what? I feel like
Both candidates have listed their VP selection.
Oh, they did?
The market
Wait a
has
minute.
tanked
Who did-
and
what's her
come
name
up
do?
and tank up. The governor of Minnesota.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, things just got more
Interesting?
fascinating. Yeah, fascinating is how I like to think of it. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to us who you vote for or how you vote.
No.
I would just encourage you to vote. I'm not even 100%
Make
sure
your
that
choice.
matters either, if I'm being honest. Election time. And then the market's going up, the market's going down, things are going sideways. Warren Buffett's holding like massive amounts of cash after selling off loads and loads of stock, as did the former leader of the House.
So they're just holding cash? They don't have it anywhere?
All we know for sure is that things have been sold, and then they're just kind of waiting it out. I don't know. I just, I get all my news from social media.
He really does. And actually, he's been banned from social media.
Not banned.
He's just in jail on social media.
Been curbed. My enthusiasm has been kind of curbed.
So, you know what? Maybe this is what we can do. Like all those things, because it's really been driving him crazy.
No, only for a minute. All right, for a couple of days.
For a couple of
Okay,
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah. Like he cannot post all the things that he sees. So,
I've been
do you want to
scolded.
share?
No.
You can just share all the things that you can't share on social media.
No,
I'm cool with that.
Facebook has community standards whereby certain things are allowed in, certain things are not allowed in. Like, lewd and lascivious photographs.
Okay. And I appreciate that. That's a good thing.
No, they're allowed in. I mean, I see all kinds of trash that shouldn't be posted. But you post one thing about childhood vaccines, like a year and a half ago.
Not even current.
And some fact checker decided that was not appropriate. It was completely factual data. It was a list of all the ingredients in the first 73 childhood vaccinations that a person will receive from birth until the age of, I think, 14 or 16.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. And not just on not on your feed.
Right.
I saw
I don't know. Maybe
people's.
other people got spanked for that as well. But at the end of the day, the people who decided the community standards decided that was not appropriate for information to be shared through Meta.
Right.
I don't know.
And that's frustrating.
So it's kind of it's frustrating, but not really. Not when you understand the benefit of playing the game. And so, that not everybody's interested in what's true and what's real.
Right.
Some people would rather just see pictures of your cat or what you had for dinner.
I like seeing pictures of your cat. And it's amazing how his feed and my feed are so completely different. I don't see any of the things that you say that you see on social media. Nothing.
Right.
I do
I get
see
hooked
cats
into watching
and
videos of those backwoods guys that are building a shelter in the middle of a winter snowstorm out of sticks and twigs and mud and so backcountry camping stuff. I get it. Yeah.
Those are
Mountain
longer
bike stuff.
videos,
Oh my
too.
gosh, mountain bike stuff. People put the GoPro on their head and they're riding down a trail that's 8 inches wide on a mountain, 7,000 feet on either side.
Does it make you want to do it?
No.
No?
No, ma'am. Nope. I like a nice, easy ride through the woods on level ground. But I mean, they build an algorithm to suit where your eyes stay the longest. They know how long you scroll. They know what you click on. They know what you like and share. And so they just feed you more of what seems to melt your butter.
Caitlin told me that about TikTok. I had no idea. I think theirs is even more cued in to that. But she's like, Mom, you have to stop watching the things that you don't want to see.
Right.
Because otherwise you're just
But it's
gonna
like a
see
train
all
wreck.
that.
Like you can't, you're
Some
not
of it
supposed to look, but you can't help but look.
can't
and if you
stop.
stay on there more than 4 seconds, they're thinking, well, her brain likes that. We'll just give her more of it.
Well, thankfully it was just all these puppy videos. And then I didn't see anything. And I'm like, how do you even find stuff on here?
Right.
I'm very new to TikTok.
Right.
So
I'm very not engaged.
Yeah. No, it's a whole different place over there.
I think if you wanted to make the world a better place, if you wanted to raise healthy, normal children, you would just take away their phone. Just take it away and let them go play outside and do what kids do. Because I think and the research is clear on that too. It's not good for the brain of a person who is under, a given age for brain development. So,
even just the habits of a phone, even a phone that's not on. Honey was like a little experiment for me. And I'm like, I'm not going to use my phone around her ever again.
Right.
Because
she was allegedly checking her phone, mocking behavior. Her phone. Yeah.
It was laying here. She was playing with all these little dolls. It was laying just like that. She was playing with her dolls, completely engaged. It was, precious. I love watching her play because her little fingers are so precise and you can almost see her brain working.
That brain just firing. Yeah. Synapses clicking.
And they're these little tiny dolls, and she loves them and she loves all the little dogs and kitties and all that. And then just in the middle of her play, she just picked up her phone, tapped the screen, put it back down, went back to playing again. And I just, at that point,
now, to be clear, it's an old phone that's not on. It has no battery life. It's not
nothing. It's a black screen.
Any radiation whatsoever.
It's the old one that has the push button thing at the bottom. And she loves buttons. And that's why she initially loved having and carrying around the phone.
Right.
But it's amazing how these patterns and habits just develop just because people are watching us too.
Why are we talking about this again? I thought we were going to go into health stuff.
Well, this is kind of health related.
It is health related.
Yeah.
I thought we weren't doing that.
Oh, you're right. No, we kind of aren't.
It's just where we go.
Yeah, it is where we go. I knew that was going to happen.
Also,
but when you were talking about adaptability, one of the things that I think is really interesting is if you get out of those habits, like if we did not do this podcast tonight, if we did not drop this on Thursday, it's almost like this door to just break the pattern for a longer time.
Right.
So that commitment has to...
If you skip a workout, it's easy to keep skipping workouts. If you, whatever.
We could talk about working out.
Yeah, because you're the newest person on the fitness scene.
He's got a little corner in his gym in the basement now for me. I've got my rebounder set up.
You got weights about the color of that top.
My pink 3-pounders.
Right, because you're bulking up.
Because I'm bulking up.
But I'm proud of you. You made a commitment and you're getting it done.
The yoga mat that you have down there, I use that the most. So I've been rebounding for at least 15 minutes, which is not like exercise. It's very fun. You do sweat.
Right.
But it feels like that's what I'll never be a gym rat. Never, ever. It is just not my scene. But if I can exercise and have fun, like bouncing up and down for 15 minutes.
What do you listen to? Do you got music on or you listen to a podcast?
Podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks to Graham. Graham podcasted when he worked at the other place. And so that kind of got me tuned into podcasts.
But the rebounder is super cool. The rebounder is great for your organs and glands. It's great for your lymphatic system. It's great for tone.
Yes. So there's
it's good to get your organs moving inside of their cavity. I mean, there's a lot of merit to just that little small trampoline action.
It really is, especially for the lymphatic system. I think there's 4 G's that as you're coming down onto it, or maybe it's launching off.
Well, it's not like you're banging your head on the ceiling. You're not.
No, I still have the bar on there.
Do you even leave the platform? Or do your feet stay on while you bounce?
No.
Right.
No,
so this is not like you're not doing flips and seat drops and.
Yeah, I'm off of the thing, but I'm not. I'll never do flips and seat drops.
Well, you couldn't. I mean, it's a low ceiling.
Yeah. But I do feel better. Like my whole system feels better. Just, that circulation and
you're going to get a little tone.
System.
You're not going to bulk, but you're going to get some tone.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Actually,
for the first time ever.
I can feel my little booty changing.
I understand completely.
Is your booty changing?
No, I'm seeing your booty changing.
Yeah. And actually the big thing for me here, I'm going to demonstrate.
What?
I am. So this is what I'm working on, you guys. You can hold me accountable.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're letting this out of the bag.
I got to get rid of this. Yeah, I am.
Why?
Because I'm willing to show that because I want accountability that's what's going to change.
Yeah, but why do you want to even get rid of it? Why even bother? Why? Who cares?
It's uncomfortable to me.
That's why they invented sleeves.
And that's exactly what I've always done is wear sleeves.
Right.
So I want to be sleeveless.
Okay.
I want more fashion options.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll check in a month, see how
I was going to say the next time we go unscripted without a guest, we should get a tape measure out.
I have a tape measure. Actually, all of my peptide clients will be receiving a little gift from me soon.
I love that.
Jenny's working on it for me.
Okay. A little personalized measuring device. And you
Nothing fancy.
got a new scale too. Am I right? For the first time ever, we know how much she weighs.
We have
among other things.
We've never had a scale at the house.
No, that's
we've
what I
had
mean.
a scale here.
Yeah.
And this is one of the
members of the practice, but not for us.
Right. It was for my clients
Right.
to get on.
Right. And now it's monkey see, monkey do. Or no, do as I'm doing, not as just as I'm saying.
Actually, I always gave people the option because I never wanted, because I know how I feel about having my weight done anywhere.
Yeah.
In fact, I would turn around on a scale if I was at a doctor's office. I didn't want to see it. And I asked them, please don't tell me what it is, because psychologically it really affected me.
Right.
And so that's the way I've just always done it. So this was huge for me. But I love
it's one of
the
those
scale.
kind of body scales that gives you more data than just how much you weigh.
I was willing to get on it because I wanted to see what my metabolic age was.
Right.
Yeah. So I want to see that changing and shifting. And I haven't done it long enough to get those measurements yet. So I'm still thinking it's going to probably be around like
And we'll give them the manufacturer. We'll tell them the brand of the scale after we've got some data and after they start paying us to advertise for it.
No, the one that I have now is called Withings, and it does seem okay, but I'm not 100% sold on it. I also got another one called Renfro. I haven't taken that one out of the box yet, but one of my clients uses that one. She loves it, and I love the reports that she sends to me from it.
And I saw another one called Body Pod by
I looked
Hume.
that up, yeah.
And so it's sending current into you. I mean, they're measuring. It's an AI tool. They're sending information in to get information
The
back.
one, so you don't think it's just algorithm stuff and heat?
The one I saw, you're actually holding
this one,
hand
neither one of
sensors
mine
as
are.
well. And so it's collecting lots and lots of information at one time, not just how much you
So
weigh.
why is the AI involved? How is that?
I'm sure they're building an algorithm that'll come back to haunt you later, just like everything else in AI world.
AI, I love you.
Right.
I do.
Yeah.
It's so helpful.
Welcome to the Matrix.
Yeah, it keeps me coming back for more.
But it will give you lots of data. You're making lots of changes in your own health. You're making a variety of things happen. So it will give you things to measure. I may get on it. I haven't decided yet.
I know, because you
I
can
don't
have up
wanna
to
know.
8 people on there.
I'm better off not knowing sometimes.
But yet you told me.
Oh, I don't care
had
about how
to.
much I weigh. I mean, I know how much my weight hadn't fluctuated
I know.
5 pounds since
Right,
high school.
right. But so what don't you want to see on that?
Well, it gives all that other metabolic health stuff. It's going to
Yeah.
give you vascular information. It's going to give you guts and glands information. It's going to give you percentages. Here's how much bone. Here's how much water. Here's how much muscle. That kind of thing. So part of me is intrigued by it. I will admit, and
Right.
we'll see how it goes.
And I was really encouraged by it because it did give that bone, muscle, fat.
Right.
And because one of the misconceptions about the peptides is you'll lose all your muscle mass.
Right.
Like you'll lose 40% of your muscle mass. That's a big one that's going around. Well, my muscle mass is perfect and my fat is perfect for my age and height.
Right.
So it's like,
Well, there's a lot of misinformation in health and health management world. And the peptide thing is one really big example of what can happen when you don't do it right. When you do it properly, though,
Dosing
it's
is
another
the
great
poison.
example, 100%.
yeah.
And so there's a lot of hang-ups about that for people, but it really is going to depend on what homework you choose to do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're going to believe what you want to believe, and you're going to... one of the things that's happened about misinformation in the last 4 years, especially when it talks about health, one of the things for misinformation is not designed to help you change your mind. Like, I'm not going to change your mind about certain things. I'm not going to change the way you think about maybe how you're going to vote. I'm not going to change the way you think about, did we land on the moon or not? Whatever. But at the end of the day,
Conspiracy theories.
the deal is misinformation is not designed to change your mind. It's designed to help you learn to doubt everything you see. Everything you hear. Everything that used to be real is now fluid and negotiable. And that, I think, is the challenge with having too much information. God didn't say his people are going to perish for lack of information.
Yeah.
He said they're going to perish for lack of knowledge. And so that's where discernment is a big deal. And if you're not tuning into the higher power in your life, I'm going to just call it God, because that's the higher power in our life, right? But if we're not tuning into intuitive things and then being able to correlate what your eyes take in and your ears take in and your heart takes in, everything becomes very negotiable, and that's dangerous.
Right.
It's
It
very
really
dangerous.
is. And I'm not going to name specific situations, but like I feel like I'm very embroiled in that right now, because even somebody who, we've been in wellness for 35 years. And so, I feel like I've got a good handle on that. What I haven't been in for a long time is like the industry of multi-level marketing.
Okay.
And knowing how things are shared and how much is honest and how much is really about how the money's going to flow.
Yes.
And so it's easy to get sucked into something that really looks amazing if it's hyped up in the right way
Hype
and
is super
marketed
contagious.
to us in the way that we want to hear.
Yep.
I mean, those are smart people.
Well, marketing people rule the world. At the end of the day, marketing people are the reason we buy anything we buy. Nothing happens in America. To be clear, there's nothing wrong with multi-level marketing in my mind. Everything is multi-level marketing.
Right. I agree.
Everything is in a hierarchy. Somebody has to manufacture it. Somebody has to harvest the goods and
somebody's going to
products.
be at the top.
And
no
somebody's going to be the
Yeah.
person at the top of it. No worries. I have no problem with that. However, it is an issue when the integrity of people is at stake, or when the truth in their marketing and advertising is compromised.
Yeah.
When you look at, just imagine if people who sell donuts had to be completely truthful about the health impact of donuts.
They probably are supposed to be.
And back in the 50s, medical doctors actually used to do the advertising for cigarettes.
I know, yeah. And they would smoke in their office.
And then Coca-Cola used to have actual cocaine in it. And they would, try one of these to calm down, sister. It's a good thing.
Well, and they used sugar as a weight loss for women in the 50s too. Like,
Right. Yeah, you need this sugar. It'll help you move more. You'll burn more calories.
You'll have more energy.
Well, how'd that go?
Well, in the 50s, they were pretty skinny.
Yeah.
They had those little
Until
tiny
they started
20
listening to the television.
Well, but then what happened was, you mean watching the television, then they're not active anymore?
Right. Well, no. If you bought into the fact that sugar is somehow beneficial, that's when people started getting huge.
Yeah. Do you think it was the 50s?
60s is when
I feel like it was
processed food.
70s.
Processed food
Yeah.
is hitting the scene in the 60s.
Yeah.
And
like when I'm thinking about pictures, because the picture that you showed me of that beach, that was
in the 70s.
That was in the 70s.
Right? And
they
it was
were
a
still,
lean group of people.
It was a lean group of people.
But again, you don't change a generational thing overnight.
No, but it
And
started then.
that's when convenience foods started hitting the market, and convenience started then trumping any nutritional value.
Yeah.
90% of the food that's on the shelf in the grocery store today did not exist 50 years ago.
Right. Yeah, I saw something about that. And the diseases that we have today they didn't
Exactly.
exist 50 years ago either.
The rates of disease have climbed with the fibbers of marketing. You can parallel it, I'm sure. If you graphed it out, it would be very, very parallel.
I think
Tang.
good
What in the actual heck is Tang? Well,
But
the
the
astronauts like it. It must be good. Or whatever.
But they had to have a powdered drink for them up there, right?
I don't know.
Did they really make it for the astronauts?
I don't know.
I know, we'll never know.
But it's gotten to the point where you don't know anything about what's real. And so, again, is that good or bad?
Yeah.
I don't know. What I know is it's very easy to get sidetracked. It's very easy to be swept into the hype of something that may or may not be beneficial to everybody. It may be beneficial to the people at the top of the pyramid, but not necessarily the people in the middle or the bottom of the pyramid.
And that's the difference. And I think I was referring to something that's a brand new opportunity or a product.
Right.
But I have been with an MLM for 7.5 years, and these founders have a heart of gold. They love their community, and every decision that they make is based on the opportunity for the advocate to succeed.
Right.
And
in that conversation, there's no losers.
right.
The people who decide to work for that company are going to be benefiting because they're learning how to become entrepreneurial. They're learning how to grow a business. They're learning how to relate to other people. And they're bringing a product to the marketplace that is non-toxic. They're bringing beauty to the marketplace in a way that it doesn't poison the wearer.
Right.
Which not very many makeup companies can say that. So the beauty industry is a multi-bajillion dollar industry because you girls have fallen for some things that may or may not be true. But at the end of the day, if you're going to bring something to the marketplace that's actually, it performs well and it's not poisonous,
Right.
you can share that with the world and get away with it and sleep well at night.
Exactly, especially where there's so much hormone disruption for women of all ages and little
And
girls.
men.
And men too. That's true. Yeah. Actually, we talked about that on our call today with corporate. You know, it's like, when can we get some advertising with men? I'm like, I have this male model that I can send down to.
Yeah. Or not.
Well, they have these new.
But people don't understand that everything, like fabric matters. Fabric softeners matter. Soaps and shampoos. And everything's going on that's going in. So if you can bring something to the marketplace that is naturally beneficial and not poisonous, it's going to be a win at some point for somebody.
Yeah.
And it should be.
And it should be. Yeah. That way, everybody wins. And you feel good about sharing it.
Yeah.
You know,
makes it easy.
that was the missing piece for my wellness journey, 7 years ago.
Sure.
And so that was a good change for me. And I've loved seeing the changes for my clients but also for my team. I love being part of an industry, which that's what MLM is, where you're helping the people that are part of your team to rise up and change their lives in ways that they couldn't do in an ordinary job.
The other thing that's nice is that if you don't do the work, you don't earn the outcome. If you don't do the work.
It's true to an extent because of the way leadership is built out. You can have a leader that's here and all of the rest of the team is working down here and she's still going to get a paycheck.
She had to do the work to get to the top of that pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
When I think back to how much work you did at the beginning of that opportunity,
but
it was extensive.
Yeah, I'm just there. I mean, overall that is true, but for anybody that's in the industry, they understand that there's these little people that just kind of hang on for that paycheck and they're not doing anything.
And that's in every industry.
It's in every industry. That's true. Even somebody that has a 9-to-5 job, they go in there and they punch the clock or something.
But nobody starts at the top. Everybody had to start lower than the top. And if you work your way to the top, if you do, work the system, whether you start as nobody starts out as a CEO. But if you start as a broom pusher and you learn the systems and you work the work and understand the concepts, you can become the CEO.
Right. It's true.
And that's called America. That's how it's supposed to go. And so the reality is if we don't do the work, we shouldn't expect the reward.
Right. It's true. And the blessing is that to be able to see women be in this industry and be able to retire from their jobs to stay home with their babies, which that is huge for so many mamas. It's like they're putting their kids in a daycare situation to go earn some money to partially pay for the daycare, but then they miss out on all those growing up years. So to be able to take them out of there, put them back in their homes and be part of that is really phenomenal. Not to mention the
economic impact can be beneficial to all concerned.
For sure. But then also the holistic side of it and how much wellness is generated when you switch those types of products too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's been a big deal for us, for your health especially, and for our girls' health.
Yes, I know. I love that.
And for everybody that, like I said, there's no losers in that equation. The people who want to have a business can have a business. And if you don't want to have a business, you can still enjoy using products that are not poisoning your endocrine system and shutting down your fertility.
Right. It meshes well with our living well lifestyle.
100%.
But there's all kinds of things. I'm kind of on a track of no monotherapies. Like you have to do all of the things to get that wellness. So just because you change your makeup to hormone-free, toxin-free, doesn't mean you can't work on these other things too. Like you do need to do some exercise, whatever that looks like for you. No judgment here. Changing some of your foods, changing what your thoughts, changing whether or not you decide that having your nerve system checked is a good idea. Any other modalities that you do, it's kind of like it's a sphere of good choices.
Hard to argue the point. If you want to argue that point, chime in now.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Why?
Just for the fun of it.
Just to get off of this topic, let's talk about things that matter less.
These things do matter, but you don't necessarily want to hear all about
Okay,
them.
fine. All right. Now I get the right, though. You're going to ask me because you downloaded these questions. Am I right? And we haven't rehearsed any answers, have we?
We haven't.
Okay. So I get the option to pass or play. If I don't want to answer the question, you get to ask another one or whatever.
Okay. No, that's totally fine. Yeah. You
Okay.
mean like you don't want to stay on the spot if you... Okay, I'll start with one of these ones.
Okay.
If we were characters in a movie, what genre would it be and who would play each of us?
Oh my gosh. I like so many different genres of movies.
I know. And you know so many movies. This would not be a good question for me to be asked.
You might be surprised, but
No.
well, because you like all that rom-com silliness.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You do.
Oh, yeah, you could be Richard Gere for sure.
No. See what I mean?
Okay, well, then you answer your own question. You go.
But I mean, if we were in an old Western,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if we were in like an action adventure.
Yeah.
Like the boys and I watched an action adventure the other night and Non could not hang. She was like, oh, this is not for me. People shooting each other or beating each other.
They were being so mean to each other.
Yeah.
One of the guys, no, I don't even want to talk about it. Go ahead. So action adventure is fun. I like that.
There were characters that could have been you or characters that could have been me.
Okay.
And so action adventure, old Western. I'm not a huge fan of like the sci-fi
Yeah, no, me either.
stuff. Except for The Matrix. The Matrix
Yeah.
movie would be probably considered sci-fi, don't you think? And that's one that I like. But I also like some of the Mel Gibson movies, Braveheart, The Patriot, some of those things where it's like there's a good versus evil, and then there's always somebody who's got to lead the charge, and they may or may not go the way they want, which is about, kind of what's happening now. So I don't know the answer. The question is kind of
Well, just
like,
pick one. Just pick like
re-ask the question just so I make sure I'm answering it properly.
if we were characters in a movie.
Yeah.
What genre would it be and who would play each of us?
Oh.
It doesn't have to be the name of a movie. It's just the genre.
Right.
And then who would be you? Who would be me? Do you want to be Ted Danson?
What?
No. Is that
That's Cheers, but it's not a movie.
right?
But that's okay.
And who's the waitress?
Well, there's a couple. There was Rebecca, and then and that
Diane.
was Kirstie Alley,
Yeah.
and then Diane
Diane.
was.
She doesn't look anything like me, though. I heard she was blonde.
We're not those people.
Upbeat and lively.
Yeah, she's a yeah, but they kind of play her up as being kind
Carla.
of dumb. Young Carla?
No. That would make me Cliff. Next question.
Okay, here's another one for you. Another silly one.
Okay, no, I get to ask you one because you gave me a sheet too.
I did.
Well, and this kind of goes along with some of the wellness or the health-oriented stuff because the question says, what's the most unusual wellness trend you've tried and would you do it again? I mean, we've done some different things over the years. I got a couple of things that show up in my mind
In your brain?
for you.
Oh, for me?
Yeah. What's the most unusual wellness trend that you've tried and would you do it again?
One of the most beautiful things that I did was a sound bath when I was down in Franklin, Tennessee last year, where you're just in a very relaxed state, and they are doing. They have like a wand that they use over crystal or quartz bowls,
Whatever.
and so and
Would
little
you do it again?
gongs. Oh yeah, it was a really.
That's my
relaxing.
point. It's not that unusual. Let's get rid of some gallstones. How about that? There's a wellness
But I would
trend.
do it again.
That's my
I
point.
would do it again.
But it's super unusual. How many people do you know that have done it?
Actually, if we're going to those kind of remedies, that's not what I was thinking. I was thinking like, the hyperbaric oxygen or those kind of wellness trends.
Coca-Cola kidney flush.
That's what I was thinking. Like
Yeah.
if we want to go there. So yeah, I mean,
Would
I
you do it
had
again?
in a heartbeat
Why?
because it works.
Because it was
it's
effective. Yes.
Yeah. So When I was pregnant with Caitlin, that's when I had my first kidney stone. And
Right.
I was pregnant with her. I was 8.5 months pregnant. Really thought I was in labor because of the intense pain.
Right.
They actually did an x-ray and it was a massive
Like the
stone.
size of a tooth.
Yeah. And then I was able to pass that. I
Oh,
don't even.
that came out surgically.
No, it did
They went in
not.
to get it.
No, they
I
didn't.
was there. They went in with the little contraption and plucked it out.
Was I asleep?
Yep. At the University of Iowa.
Yeah. No, that wasn't when I was pregnant with her. That was after. That was when she was 6 months old.
Oh, you're right about that.
Yeah. Remember
But they took an X-ray. Like we got an X-ray of your abdomen with
But
her
that
in
one
it.
came out on its own. Yes, I know that X-ray is really very cool. I love it. So you can see that stone in there. But I passed that one on my own, and then 6 months later, I had another one because then you were having
You're right.
to
I'm sorry. That was the timeline
watch
I
the
got.
baby because I was in the hospital for a week,
And an hour and a half away
and
or whatever.
it was horrible. And
Yeah.
do you remember feeding her formula for the first time?
I do. Next. That's not about the
Okay.
Coca-Cola
I
kidney
know.
flush.
Okay. So over the years, I've had several bouts of them. They have been horrific. I mean, I don't know that you've ever had one. Graham, I don't think you've ever had one, but they are just really
It's
painful.
bad. It's hard to watch.
And so multiple times I've been able to pass them on my own. I have Chonka Piedra that I take. There's some other gallstone formulas, but they are not as effective as what I found a couple years later. And that is, believe it or not, 6 12-ounce Mexican Coca-Colas,
Why Mexican?
sugar, no high fructose corn syrup,
Not American.
not American. So usually if they're in the glass bottles, they're Mexican Coke.
Right.
So we actually have a stash at the house because
Just in case.
if it ever happens, I want to have my stuff. So you do that. You do one every 20 minutes for 2 hours. So you drink 6 Cokes,
Which usually gives you a
hours.
kidney stone.
which you would think would give you a kidney stone. But because of the high acid content in it, it actually dissolves the stones.
Not just the Cokes, though. There's more to it. What else is in that
Those
loop?
dissolve the stone. And then immediately after you drink those 6 Cokes, because you're shaking and like you can't sit still because of the sugar and caffeine, and then you immediately make asparagus soup, which
So you got a pound of
so
asparagus. You're going to mulch
8
and
ounces.
chug.
You steam it and then you emulsify it and then you drink it like baby food or eat it like baby food. And then as soon as you do that, then you start drinking a gallon of distilled water
Right.
over the next 24 hours. You don't drink that all at once. What happens is the Coke creates sludge out of
Breaks the stone down
Yep.
to
just granules. And then the asparagus is very soothing to the whole urinary tract system. And so that helps to pull out the sludge. And then the water just continues to flush the
Now,
system.
if you do a search on this, what you're going to learn is it's a load of garbage. Not effective. Don't do it. Very dangerous.
Yeah.
What we found is kind of works like a charm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's the only
again,
thing that I've
we're
found
not
that's
going to
worked so
die because
fast.
we don't have enough information. We're going to be challenged when we don't absorb knowledge as opposed to information.
Yeah. And it's
So
worked
yeah,
for other
that's a
people,
weird
too.
thing. So you answered the question really well. That's what I was thinking. Although the gallstone question,
yeah,
is a
that can
pretty
be
good
for
one, too.
another
So we do
time.
some weird stuff, but you know what? It's
Yeah.
pretty helpful.
Yeah, because there's things that kind of go back to our grandparents too.
Yes.
Like if they had
Castor oil.
indigestion, castor oil, if they had indigestion, they would take half a teaspoon of baking soda and water, and it would settle them right down, and stomach upset and all that, and it works beautifully.
But
and
the
I do
marketing
that now.
for other things is so powerful.
I mean, when you talk, how much do you think it would cost for a half a teaspoon of baking soda? Like less than a penny.
Not nearly enough.
Yeah,
Yep. Cool.
yeah. So what about you?
What about me?
Could you answer that same question?
We do our 21-day purification.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the kind of thing everybody latches onto, but every time we do it, it's
Mm-hmm.
beneficial. Every time we do it, everybody's A1C gets better, everybody's blood pressure gets better, everybody's cholesterol numbers improve, and everybody's digestion gets better. pain patterns go way down, sleep patterns go way up, and most people will drop weight in the process. So for 21 days, we do, and usually in January, we do this almost every January, a kind of a liver purification program, which most people would think is kind of unusual, as per the question.
Right.
But always beneficial. You think of your liver kind of like your oil filter or your furnace filter. Periodically, you got to clean the sludge out of it. And it's much more efficient, much more effective, and your overall health and well-being are significantly improved in those 21 days.
Yeah,
some supplemental things that you take along the way, some foods that you omit, and some foods that you increase. So you're using basically whole foods to just flush your system out. There's no tacos involved. There's no Cheetos involved. There's no cake involved.
You could make good ones, good
Well,
tacos, because
you're
you can
going to
have
make
meat on there
healthful
after.
choices, and you're going to eat very little, if any, restaurant food for 21 days.
Right, because there's
It's
just
all
too many
trash.
additives.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh my
you
gosh,
can-
I can think of so many things now,
Yeah.
like stem cells,
Right.
UBI,
Right.
Ultraviolet,
Laser
ultraviolet,
therapy.
laser therapy.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that are naturally produced and naturally healthy that not everybody's tapped into, and sometimes that's thought of as a little weird or unusual.
Right.
We could be a little weird and unusual.
We can. And not just weight loss
a good
peptides,
way.
but, B12 shots. That's a
Right.
regular part of our routine now. And VPC 157, although they did actually finally take it off the market last
Yeah.
week.
Anything that's beneficial is going to be compromised. The food system is being compromised, the air quality, So there's a lot of different things that we don't have a lot of
Yeah,
control
so if you
over.
ever have any questions about any weird...
No, we don't want questions about weird. We're just normal people trying to do the best we can in a normal world. Freak show.
That would be kind of boring.
All right. So we're at.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Plenty of time.
For two people that said, let's just keep it at 15 minutes.
Right. Let's just do a little quickie and get out of here just to keep the commitment. We said we do it. We should do it.
Are there...
And look at this. We didn't even open the box.
I know,
We have
we're
these
gonna-
cards called small talk, little talking point cards, just in case we ran out.
You want to just do one?
No.
Just for fun?
No.
Just one.
Apparently, we're going to do one.
Yeah. Are you scared?
Not at all.
Oh, this is easy.
What?
Have you ever been on a cruise ship? What were your thoughts?
Yes, and it was lovely. Simple.
Bingo. Yeah.
But
What was your favorite one? We've been on a couple.
the Mediterranean, for sure. Smaller ship, fabulous experience, upgrade. I mean, it was like
Yeah.
we had a butler. It was crazy good.
Yeah.
And then we got to see.
He wasn't in the room the whole time with us or anything, but he was at our beck and call.
Yeah.
That was really great. Crystal Cruise Line was the Mediterranean cruise that we did.
Yep.
And I was so sad because during lockdowns, they actually were out of business. And so I thought that they would never be back on the scene again. But in the past, I think it was the past 9 months since
They're
last
back.
January,
Yeah.
they are back. So if you ever have the chance to do a crystal cruise,
We should do a Crystal cruise and do the podcast. Actually, okay, here's how this should go. Crystal, if you're listening, and I think you are, you should just put us on a cruise at your expense, and then we'll broadcast from it, and we'll all live happily ever
This
after.
is what I thought you were going to say, that we should bring all of our patients, create an excursion, a retreat with all of the people that we know and love, and
like the
people
way you
in the
think.
practice, and we all go on this cruise together.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and you don't have to pay, Crystal. No,
Well,
we'll pay for that.
All right, I suppose it'd be fine.
But it would be fun to do that, where we go on a trip
Create
like
an
that
experience.
with
And we're going
the
to,
Living Well experience.
we'll hit Greece and Croatia, Italy. Oh,
Yeah, I know.
all right.
Yeah. All right.
That's on
You
the
good
radar.
Are you good for now?
I need nothing more of this experience.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. If you like what we're doing, and this was kind of off the cuff, but if you like a little bit of that, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button.
It makes us so excited to see the subscriber count going up. And so we appreciate you watching, and we'll be back for more next week.
Later days.
Bye.